If you crack first, Dave, it won't make you any less of a man.
I'm nowhere near cracking.
Neither am I, my friend.
Dave. And Matthew, what is it now? For God's sake, no one's smoking, okay? But nothing! You know what we need around here is an anti-whining ordinance. So just sip your sniveling little lip and haul your skinny ass out of here!
Welcome back to Thinking Critical. This is Wes. Within the last 48 hours, you might have noticed there was a teaser from Jonathan Hickman and Declan Shalvey about a new exclusive X-Men series to Marvel Unlimited, their digital platform. Well, now we have details. It's far bigger than Jonathan Hickman and Declan Shalvey. Marvel Unlimited itself is rebranded. It's kind of relaunching with a new look, upgrades, and there's going to be a new line of comics called Infinity Comics, which I think is a little bit of brand confusion with DC Comics Infinite Universe, but that's neither here nor there. Felt like maybe DC had taken that name, but we do know that Disney certainly has used the Infinity name to brand things in the past. But we've got 7 new Infinity comics to begin with, and a lot of new projects, and there are going to be other Marvel titles that are being formatted for the new Infinity series of comic books, and we'll get to all that. But let's talk about the Marvel Unlimited digital app. There's a lot of different changes. Subscribers will get a new reading experience as digital comics subscription service relaunches with new features and that exclusive line of comics. Some of the new features include unlimited downloads, enhanced product design that enables new content curation and presentation, personalized reading guides based on preferences, speed, performance, and new search capabilities. Content sharing outside of the app is also added, along with a new annual plan option. New comics are added weekly with titles available as soon as 3 months after their in-store publication. All great upgrades. We just saw Comixology being absorbed into Amazon. They have a lot of functionality upgrades as well, and Marvel is following suit. Obviously, these things, they didn't happen together. Marvel was doing their thing and Comixology was doing their thing, and just so happened to come out pretty much at the same time. I'm obviously in favor of this. I am a digital comic reader because I have no comic shop anywhere near me. And I do think that digital comics have an enormous future, or a part to play in the future of the comic book industry. Certainly we've seen that with Shonen Jump and other applications in Asia as far as reading and experiencing comic books, and certainly has helped the growth there. And I think it will eventually, once it catches on here in America, will be the new the drugstore, right? You get in there, the spinner rack, that's your introduction. I think Marvel Unlimited, Comixology, DC Universe Infinite will all be kind of a part of that. I do think the no new titles until 30 or 3 months after publication, that needs to get down to at least 30 days before these things can really become viable. Nobody wants to pay an annual subscription fee and then have to wait 3 months to be able to talk to their friends that bought the comic within the comic shop. Subscription model is the way to go, and that is the future. Individual purchases for comic books. Nobody does those unless, it's Comixology, like 80% off sale. It's a subscription model is what's proven to be successful in Western cultures. Specifically, you look at Netflix, Spotify, those kind of subscription-based models. Certainly that's where comics is going to be. Hopefully one day these guys just all get together and we get one real subscription services where you can get like one-stop shop and get everything that you want. We're a ways off from that, but hopefully that 90 days gets knocked down to 30 days. I predicted by the end of the year, but I don't think that one's going to happen. Now, as far as Marvel Unlimited, this is what Dan Buckley, president of Marvel Entertainment, had to say. The goal for Marvel Unlimited has always been to provide the best digital comics experience for our fans by giving them direct access to the unmatched depth, breadth, and vibrancy of Marvel's characters and stories. With this relaunch, we're bringing fans an even richer experience with Marvel stories designed in a dynamic vertical format for the first time. Our new Infinity Comics give our creators a chance to tell stories in entirely new ways, and we're looking forward to connecting our fans to those stories in the months to come. Now, they did mention there's now an annual subscription option. So if you do it monthly like you have been, it's $9.99 a month, which I think is not a very good value. When you think about what you can get for that same amount of price, even with like Disney Plus, you can get, the one with ESPN and all there for only a couple dollars more. Netflix, you literally have access to hundreds of thousands of hours of entertainment. And I don't know that you're exactly getting that with these. I don't think that $9.99 works, but the $69 a year plan, I think, is much more palatable. I think it's a much better option. It's just over $5 a month, or just under $6, however you want to look at it. There's also another subscription that's annual. It's $99, so it's closer to that $9.99 price point. But that one, the annual plus subscription, there's a bunch of extra benefits like discounts and stuff you get in the Disney store. So if you're interested in that, go check those out. I'm personally looking into that annual subscription. I'm probably going to have to bite the bullet and do it. I read so many digital comics anyway, and I don't know. We'll see. I'm probably going to have to do that one. It's $69 a year is actually a really good deal, in my opinion. As far as the Infinity Comics, that's kind of one of the big things coming out of this besides the functionality. And you heard Dan Buckley speak to it in that press release. They're full screen, high resolution, vertical series. They're webcomics, specifically designed for phones and tablets. Perfect. This is the way you should be doing it. DC's been doing something similar. If you read their DC Digital First, their pages are like half comic book pages, the way that they're designed. But they're not really designed to go vertically. They're landscape. They need to be And it looked like I was jerking off of an elephant there for a second. Sorry about that. But they need to move vertically when you're reading them to best work on your tablet and your phone. And so these are being formatted different, which I think is really smart. You'll find 27 Infinity Comics available on Marvel Unlimited today, with over 100 issues planned by the end of the year. And the list of creators includes Jonathan Hickman, Declan Shalvey, Skottie Young, Kelly Thompson, Gerry Duggan, Lucas Werneck, and others. Now let's get into some of the details, because there's definitely some winners in here. Some comics, you might see one of them reviewed this weekend, on Sunday. It's the X-Men comic. Let's get into all the details. X-Men Unlimited. This is the outgoing head of X-Writer Jonathan Hickman is launching a new volume of the X-Men Unlimited anthology series, beginning with the Wolverine versus AIM story drawn by Declan Shalvey. In quotes, this is Jonathan Hickman. Declan and I were pretty obsessive about stressing what we can do within the Infinity format, and we think X fans will be happy with the result. I'm always up for trying out new ways to make stories, and this turned out to be a very interesting format. Of course, we do know when Jonathan Hickman was talking about within his Substack newsletter about his final days at X-Men and kind of stepping away. Obviously, we got this unannounced program. Feeds right into him saying that we need surprises in comic books. I'm tired of everybody knowing everything before it happens. So not only do we get a surprise release of this X-Men Unlimited, but he also had a plan to essentially release all of Marvel's X-Men titles in Dawn of X digitally. He had a digital publication plan because Diamond Comics distributors went down. Obviously, they came back 7 weeks later, thanks in no small part to DC Comics bringing 2 new competitors online for comic book distribution. But he had to plan to do this, so it's no surprise that he would jump right on board this opportunity to get comic books out in a new format and see what they can do with digital. And the announcement describes X-Men Unlimited as a series of rotating adventures focused on the current Reign of X era mutant kind to be published weekly. So we're going to get weekly comics. Not sure that they're all going to be written by Jonathan Hickman. It just says that he's launching it with Declan Shalvey. We'll see how long he stays on there, but certainly I would expect this first issue to be reviewed on This Week in X-Men with Doc, just to see what we think about it. I imagine, because he's a salty old bastard, he's not going to like it because it's not formatted like an old comic book. We'll see how it goes. I might be more receptive because I do read almost all my comics in digital. The next series to talk about is called It's Jeff. Bite-sized man-eater Jeff the Land Shark is getting his own series, spinning out of the scene, stealing appearances in West Coast Avengers, Deadpool and Gwenpool Strikes Back. Co-creator Kelly Thompson graduates Gwenpool's adorable pet shark to his own series, drawn by Guru Hero, who's a very, very good artist. Certainly fits the type of character this is. And It's Jeff is planned to be a weekly series on Marvel Unlimited. As a father with a 6-year-old that loves reading and specifically loves reading comic books, It's Jeff is absolutely in my wheelhouse. Guru Hero is a very good artist for kid-friendly comic books. We did see them do the couple of series with Mariko Tamaki. I think were they called Double Trouble? Something like that. It was like Loki Double Trouble, and I think there was an X-Men one in there. So if I do get the subscription service, which it sounds like I obviously need to, this is one I would definitely consider reading. Another one that's definitely on the docket is Giant Size Little Marvels from Skottie Young. Obviously, this is a series that's been out there, but he's reviving it as we see the younger, diminutive versions of the Marvel characters in Giant Size Little Marvels, and he teams with Dax Gordine to pit Earth's littlest heroes against pint-sized versions of Marvel's classic villains. I absolutely love Tiny Titans, and this is just Marvel's version of Tiny Titans. So this is something else I would absolutely read with my 6-year-old and probably love quite a bit because I really do enjoy those. So this is something I'm fully on board with. I think Skottie Young is actually a really good writer. I definitely enjoyed his Middle West work. I imagine this will be a bit more kid-friendly. Next up, we got Shang-Chi. No surprise here that this character would be involved with this. We've got the movie coming out right now. A lot of priority placed on Shang-Chi. We've had a miniseries. We've got an ongoing now. We've also seen, Shang-Chi is now a member of the Avengers, at least in the MCU. So the Legend of Shang-Chi writer Alyssa Wong is back for a return with Marvel's Master of Kung Fu, this time teaming up with artist Nathan Stockman. The 4-issue Shang-Chi Marvel Unlimited title will team the titular Master of Kung Fu with rookie hero White Fox as part of the adventure. This is, I don't read Alyssa Wong. She's not a good writer, even on kids' comics. Now we've got Captain America. Explain the X-Men podcaster Jay Editon returns to Marvel Comics to take on Captain America in an especially patriotic series with artist Nico Leone. In the series' first arc, Captain America must deal with terrorists who have stolen the iconic Liberty Bell and are using it as leverage to get a meeting with the patriotic hero. Full disclosure, my 6-year-old's favorite superhero is absolutely Captain America, and we like reading like the little, I wouldn't call them flip books, but they're like mini comics. You can see they were probably drawn full size, but they've been printed down, and he loves those. This is absolutely something I would read with him. And I like that they say they are putting a emphasis on the patriotic aspect of the character. Stealing the Liberty Bell sounds like it's perfectly fine. It's something I would read beforehand before I read with my kid, just because of what Marvel has been doing with Captain America for so long. But it's another, in my estimation, potential winner right there. We've also got Black Widow. This is a one-shot titled Easter Egg Hunt. So obviously it is a special for Easter. Black Widow teams with Hawkeye on a mission that will reveal an untold piece of the Romanoff legend. Written by Mark Russell. Well, that's as far as you need to go. I don't read anything by Mark Russell. I'm certainly not going to read an Easter special by someone who's denigrated the Christian religion quite as often as Mark Russell has. Let's put it that way. Next up, this is probably the one I'm most excited about because I am reading Amazing Fantasy by Kerry Andrews. It's very, very good. I'm loving that series. We're 2 issues in. I think it's fantastic. He's writing, he's illustrating it, and this is Amazing Fantasy Prelude, and it's a special prequel that's exclusive to Marvel Unlimited. The Amazing Fantasy Prelude by Kerry Andrews will focus on Wolverine as he stares down demons, old loves, and monsters, old and new, before the events of Amazing Fantasy itself, which launch in July. So it's a prequel comic to Amazing Fantasy. We have not seen Wolverine in Amazing Fantasy. We've seen, what have we seen? We've seen Red Room Black Widow, we've seen Teenage Spider-Man, and we've seen World War II Captain America. But we certainly have not seen Wolverine. I imagine that must mean he's going to be on the island. I'm definitely going to read this. Sounds absolutely fantastic. The more I'm looking at this, there's more winners to this, and there's a couple other things I'm going to have to talk to here in a minute that probably are going to work for me. So probably going to have to get that annual subscription for $69. That's actually a pretty good deal. The final one is Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane. I believe this one's actually been out before. It says the popular double alt reality title Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane is being adapted into the Infinite Comics format, a first for Marvel's new format. Writer Sean McKeever and artist Takeshi Mizukawa run was an alt-reality take on Peter Parker and Mary Jane's dynamic, presenting it from the point of view of MJ. So obviously, they are formatting this into the Marvel Infinity comic format. Now, speaking of that, the Infinity format is not only just vertical based, where it's a webcomic. They've also primed the following series for adaptation: Amazing Spider-Man, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Moon Knight, Moon Girl, and Devil Dinosaur, Miss Marvel, Venom, and Spider-Gwen. All good titles, perfectly suited for something like this. But there's some other added things that are going to be in here. I don't know that these are going to be necessary or even value add. They've tried motion comics in the past. People really thought that was what was going to make like digital comics pop in North America. It didn't work because if I want a motion comic, I'll watch a cartoon. But hey, perhaps it is the future. You just have to try it a little bit different. So these Marvel Infinity Comics, they have a proprietary format which adds motion and sounds to traditional comic book pages to create a cinematic animated appearance and is optimized for phone reading. So there's going to be some animated sequences and possible sound effects, likely on like big events within the comic book. We'll see how the kid likes it. Like I said, there's some definite winners in here: Amazing Fantasy, Prelude, Captain America, Giant Size Little Marvels, It's Jeff, X-Men Unlimited. I want to read all those, and so I think these are good changes. Digital needs to be important to Marvel, DC, and the other publishers moving forward. Comixology has got upgrades now. Marvel Unlimited has some upgrades now. DC Universe Infinite, I think is it Infinite? It's DC Universe Infinite. That's just relaunched as its own standalone application, and these are all good things. And hopefully, they get better. I'm interested in this new proprietary format for the Infinity Comics for Marvel, and they got some good stuff in there. I think it's smart to add an annual subscription option, which saves you almost half price as far as the price of the comics. So it's all good. I think this is all pretty smart. And there you go. That's the new Marvel Unlimited. If you're already a subscriber, you should already see the upgrades have happened, and these titles that I just talked about are all available right now. Most of them have more than one issue, so check it out. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. I would appreciate it very much. It helps us attract more views for the channel. Subscribe for future commentary, comic book news, and reviews, and don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. If you want to talk comics, movies, and much, much more, you can follow me on Twitter at Wes_from_TC. With that, Salamat Po, and I'm out.